Have you read or heard about places that give you goosebumps with the slightest mention of the place? Or have you ever been to such a place yourself? Some places make you feel uneasy the first time you arrive, and such places exist all over the world. Among these places is Aokigahara in Japan, which is considered by most people to be one of the scariest places in the world. So this week, we're bringing together interesting topics about the Aokigahara forest for the Mystery Minors program. What kind of mystery is there in this deep forest enough to be called the Aokigahara? Why is it called the Aokigahara? Please watch this video until the end to find out. The Aokigahara forest is located northwest of Mount Fuji, one of Japan's most famous landmarks. The area of the forest is 13.5 square miles, and it is also known as Jukai, which means sea of trees, because the big trees are so misty that the sun doesn't shine. Fuji volcano erupted many years ago, so the soil around the mountain is made of volcanic rock. Therefore, the soil of the Aokigahara forest is usually volcanic rock, and the terrain has many uphill and downhill terrains, making it a haunting place for those who don't know how to navigate. At the western end of the forest, there are many caves, which are often filled with ice in the winter, making them a popular place for tourists and school trips to Japan. Another reason why Aokigahara forest is so famous is that some people who enter the forest never come out and end their lives in the forest in various ways. That's why Aokigahara forest has become one of the most deadly places in the world and Japan's demon forest. It also became known as the perfect place to die. There are three types of visitors to this forest. The first are hikers, and the second are explorers. The last of these three types are those who have no way back. In other words, those who kill themselves. In 2002, there were 78 people who took their own lives in the forest, and in 2003, there were 105 people. In 2010, there were more than 200 people who tried to kill themselves in the forest. Later, officials no longer released the exact number of people who died in the forest. They hung warning signs saying, "Think about your siblings and children once more. Do not suffer alone." In searching for reasons for such a fate, some unique and interesting information emerged. One of them is Kuryo Jukai, the Black Sea of Trees, a mystery book by Japanese author Seicho Matsumoto, published in 1960. In the book, there were two lovers, who are the main characters, met in the afterlife after taking their own lives in the Aokigahara forest. Another thing related to a book, Kansen Jisatsu Manuaru, which was written by author Wataru Tsurumui and became the bestseller in Japan in 1993. In this book is written about methods about taking your own life, and it is written that Aokigahara forest is the best place to end one's life. Another notable thing about this book is that it is often found near those who have entered the Aokigahara forest and perished, along with their remaining belongings. However, there are those who claim that the deaths by entering the Aokigahara forest and taking their own lives were before the release of these two books, so the deaths are not directly related to the books. In Japanese legends, there is an evil in this forest. Some Japanese people are still afraid to enter the forest because it is believed that demons and ghosts live there, and they believe that this forest is a place with no way back. One of the factors that further strengthens their beliefs is the nature of the forest. Once inside the Aokigahara forest, you won't hear the sounds of birds and animals like in other forests, and only silence prevails. The functions of compasses and mobile phones also often malfunction due to the magnetism contained in the volcanic rocks. Therefore, the shape of the forest can cause even hikers to get lost in the forest. This forest is called Ghost in Japanese legends. It is described as the home of ghosts, and some legends say that it is related to a Japanese tradition. That is, in ancient times, Japan suffered from drought and famine. Because they had to go through times when there was not enough food and water, during those times, their elderly grandfathers came to the Aokigahara forest and abandoned them with the intention of starving them to death. Thus, the abandoned spirits were not allowed to meet their ancestral spirits and wandered in the forest, and the legends say that in the future, they became this terrifying forest. Japan has the highest death rate among all other countries. Japanese people choose this path for a variety of reasons, but most of them are caused by economic and social depression. However, there is still no definite answer as to why they came to this forest and died. Does the silence of the forest only make depressed people feel more isolated and forced to choose death? Or, as in the legends, abandoned spirits? Whether the ghosts did not allow the humans who came into this forest to leave the outside world is still a mystery to think about and solve today. As an audience, please join us down below to discuss what kind of different views you have about this forest in the comments. Please stay tuned to see what interesting content Mystery Miners will bring you next week.